Discover the incredible transformation. A single dad helps a crying homeless girl unveiling her heart-wrenching story. It was a bitterly cold winter afternoon in Chicago. The snowflakes fell like tiny stars, blanketing the world in white. Jake, a single dad and barista, trudged through the park, his thoughts filled with his daughter Emily. He wanted nothing more than a better life for her. But today, his exhaustion crept in 2 jobs, endless hours, and a longing to shield Emily from life's harsh realities weighed heavily on his shoulders. That's when he spotted her Lily, a frail girl, no older than 10, shivering on a bench. Her eyes glistened with tears, a stark contrast to her threadbare coat and worn-out shoes. Jake's heart skipped a beat. Something pulled him towards her. "Hey there," he said softly, kneeling beside her. "What's wrong?" Lily looked up, her sobs choking back any words. They sat in silence, the cold biting at Jake's skin, but inside, warmth surged as he felt an uncontainable urge to help. He took her tiny hand, guiding her to the community center where he often volunteered. As they talked, the story spilled out: a broken home, betrayal, and days spent fending for herself. Each word was a pebble dropped into a well of compassion within Jake. Her charm soon erased his frustrations and worries, creating an unexpected friendship. He felt more alive when he thought of how he could help her. Just then, his phone buzzed. It was Emily. "Dad, are you coming home?" The tension in her voice cranked up a knot in his gut. It was a reminder of the delicate balance he was trying to maintain. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. As Jake returned his focus to Lily, he felt a pang of guilt. Soon, that guilt turned into conflict. Each moment spent with Lily felt like time stolen from Emily. The bond they had formed through their struggles was slipping. Jake pushed the thought down, but it weighed on him. Would assisting Lily come at a cost to his relationship with Emily? Days turned into weeks, and winter's chill enveloped the community. Jake and Emily organized a fundraiser at her school for local homeless families. Emily's face, a mix of confusion and jealousy, pained him. But, in that endeavor, she discovered kindness through struggle, laughing alongside her friends as they baked cookies, a bittersweet realization blooming in her heart. Winter storm warnings loomed, and as the winds churned, chaos erupted. Jake felt dizzy. Could he hold on to Lily? She revealed her opportunity to leave this troubled life behind. Torn, Jake struggled. How could he let her go when love had blossomed in their odd connection? As the storm howled outside, Jake and Emily faced turmoil in every sense. They had to confront what it meant to be family, explore sacrifice, and challenge their notions of belonging. Could their love withstand the test of uncertainty? As Jake's heart raced, he wondered if they could navigate this together or if it would unravel everything they fought for. The future hung by a thread, a chilling silence filling the space around them. The next day, the sunlight struggled to break through the gray clouds as Jake walked into the community center, a heavy heart leading him through the doors. Lily's laughter had become a balm on cold days, and now, it felt as if that warmth was slipping through his fingers. He had promised to help her, yet each decision tore at his connection with Emily. As he entered, he spotted Lily sitting on a chair in the corner, leafing through a tattered book. She caught his glance and smiled, her eyes shining even amidst the uncertainty. It was a momentary comfort, but doubts still clawed at him. "Hey, Lily," he said, letting his voice be calm even as chaos brewed inside. "How are you feeling?" She looked up, her face brightening. "I'm good. I've been thinking, what if I could go to a real school?" The hope in her expression struck him hard. Her desire for a fresh start resonated with his own dreams for Emily, a future filled with possibilities. Jake knelt beside her. "That would be amazing. But, school can be tough if you don't have a home to go back to." Lily's face fell for a moment. "Yeah, but I want to try," she whispered, her voice barely audible. In that instant, Jake realized the gravity of the situation. Helping Lily meant more than just providing temporary relief. It meant making life-changing decisions. Could he integrate her into their world without dragging Emily down? He had to make this work. It was not just a choice, it was fate. Just then, the door swung open with a loud bang. Emily stomped in, her cheeks flushed from the cold. "Dad, I thought we agreed to have breakfast together." The frustration in her tone was palpable, and Jake's heart sank. He glanced at Lily, who looked lost in trailing thoughts. Would this moment push them all farther apart? Lily waved shyly. "Hi, Emily." Emily's eyes narrowed, and she crossed her arms. What is she doing here? The question hung in the air, sharp and heavy. Jake cleared his throat, searching for the right words. She's just trying to figure out her life. Like we are," Lily interrupted, her voice peaking with vulnerability. "And your dad is helping me. I want to make something of myself." Emily's expression softened but held traces of skepticism. "What does that mean for us?" Caught off guard, Jake stepped carefully. "It means we can choose to support each other. Just like we're planning that fundraiser together, right? We can help Lily get back on her feet, too." Emily's lips tightened into a thin line. Then she sighed, the weight of family comparisons seeping through her walls. "But what if she takes you away from me?" Jake felt the air grow heavy around them. "Emily, no one could ever take my love away from you. It's not about that. We're talking about lifting someone up who needs it." Silence enveloped them, a storm brewing in their hearts as they weighed the words. Would Emily come to understand the depth of compassion? Would it spill over and transform them all? He could feel his heart racing, torn between the hope flickering inside Lily and Emily's guarded anger. While they stood there, unresolved, Jake realized all paths lay ahead, uncertain and jagged. Outside, the wind howled, echoing the turmoil raging in his heart. The choice was not easy, and somewhere in the back of his mind, he knew a more formidable test awaited them. As they gathered their thoughts, a distant siren wailed, echoing like a call to action. In the depths of uncertainty about love, sacrifice, and belonging, would they find their way to each other? Would they choose to embrace the complexity of their intertwined lives, or would the bond they shared dissolve into the cold streets of Chicago? As the moment stretched, the air thick with unspoken truths, Jake realized their journey was far from over, and the hardest decisions still lay ahead. Would they navigate this complicated path together, or would the storm drift them apart? Emotions hung thick in the air as the three sat in an uneasy silence. Jake felt the weight of their unsaid thoughts pressing down on him, each second stretching unbearably. He could sense Emily's frustration simmering just beneath the surface, but also the flicker of doubt in her eyes. Jake wished desperately to bridge that gap, to transform this tension into understanding. "Do you really want to go to school, Lily?" Emily asked suddenly, her voice softer, though still edged with uncertainty. Lily nodded vigorously. "Yeah, I really do. I want to learn things, make friends. It would be nice not to be alone." Her words cut through the silence, revealing the raw desire within her. Jake watched Emily, waiting. He hoped she would see the spark in Lily's eyes, the very same spark he wanted for her. But what if it doesn't work out? Emily ventured, her arms still protective across her chest. "It's not just about starting school, is it? What about everything else?" Lily's smile faltered, and she turned her gaze to the floor. "I guess I just want a chance. I don't know what will happen. But if I don't try, I'll never know, will I?" Jake swallowed hard, feeling a surge of pride for Lily's bravery. "You're right, Lily. Trying is what matters," he said, finding his voice. "Emily, maybe this is more than just helping a girl. Maybe it's about showing compassion and learning something important together." Emily's stubbornness cracked a little, and for the first time, he saw a flicker of curiosity in her eyes. "But what if it just makes everything harder? What if it means sharing you? Sharing our hearts doesn't mean losing love," Jake said gently, reaching for Emily's hand. She hesitated but ultimately let him take it, the warmth of connection spilling over. "We can include Lily in our family's story, not divide it. We can still be us." A soft sigh escaped Emily's lips, and she turned her head slightly towards Lily, gauging her sincerity. It was a small shift, but Jake felt hope bloom within him that as the conversation lingered between them, the sirens outside began to fade, replaced by the sounds of chatter in the community center, the laughter of children and the familiar clanking of dishes. It was a vivid reminder of the world outside their bubble. "Maybe we could go together and check out a school," Jake suggested, his heart racing at the thought of stepping out. We can find out what it's really like, together. I'll be with both of you. Emily looked between them, uncertainty still clouding her features, but with a glimmer of willingness. Okay, but only if we can figure it all out without losing what we have. Yes. Together, Lily said, her eyes sparkling as she caught Emily's gaze. Jake felt his heart swell. This was a beginning, a light breaking through the gloom. The bond they shared began to reshape itself not as something threatened by the unknown, but as something that could expand even in the face of challenges. Yet, beneath the surface, he sensed the complexity of emotions swirling. They were not merely beginning a journey to help Lily. They were opening a door to their own transformations as well. As the girls began to chat about school, laughter mingling with tentative hope, Jake's phone buzzed in his pocket, startling him. He glanced down and saw a new message, the name sending a chill down his spine. It was from Emily's mother, the woman who had left them both shattered years ago, her voice echoing in his mind. He sensed trouble brewing on the horizon, an echo of the complicated past reaching out from the shadows. What storm was about to hit their newly formed alliance? Would it pull them apart, or would it cement their resolve to stand together? Jake's heart raced. Knowing this was merely the beginning of their intertwined destinies, a test they couldn't ignore. Jake couldn't shake that feeling in the pit of his stomach as he stared at the message on his phone. His thumb hovered over the screen, torn between the urge to read it and the instinct to turn away and protect this fragile moment they had created. Who is it? Emily asked, her voice lightly coated with worry. He hesitated, then replied, It's your mom. Her face dropped, and the laughter faded, replaced by a frown that twisted his heart. It felt like a crack extending through their fragile trust. Lily, catching the shift, blinked up at them. Do you think she is coming here? No, Emily said sharply, shaking her head, the fear in her eyes betraying her. I don't want to talk to her. I thought we were done with all that. Jake nodded, understanding the raw wound it had left in both their lives. We are, but we have to face whatever this is. Together. Emily sighed heavily, rubbing the back of her neck as if trying to soothe an ache. What does she want? Lily leaned in, her curiosity peeking through her anxiousness. Is she going to hurt us? No, sweetie, Jake assured, crouching to her level. It's just complicated. He opened the message. The words seemed to blur momentarily, evoking memories of anger, disappointment, and confusion. Hey, I know it's been a while, but I need to talk to you. I'm back in town. Can we meet? Jake's heart thudded violently against his chest. Emily had a right to know. She wants to meet, he said quietly, feeling the weight of that truth lay heavy on the three of them. No way, Emily replied, her voice rising a notch. I want to do it. I don't want to be caught up in her mess again. Lily glanced back and forth between them, sensing the tension. What is going on? Can I help? Jake didn't know if she could. This was an adult issue, but wasn't everything they were working on together also about showing Lily how to face the world head-on? This was part of that lesson, too. Lily, sometimes people come back when you least expect them. It's okay to be scared, but we don't have to face it alone, he said, looking at them both. Emily's gaze softened slightly at Jake's words, the fight in her dimming just a touch. So what do we do? She asked, as if trying to reclaim some control over the situation. How about we talk it out? Just the three of us first. We can decide what we want to do. We don't have to meet her if we don't want to, Jake suggested. Lily nodded enthusiastically. Yeah, I can help. We'll be like a team. Right, a team. Emily forced a smile, although it didn't completely reach her eyes. But do you really think this is the right time for it, Jake? He could feel every ounce of their past simmering in the air, but he nodded. You both are my family. I see that now. We can't let the past overshadow what we're trying to build. A moment of silence fell over them, the weight of decisions settling like dust on old memories. Lily's small voice broke it, full of innocence and hope. No matter what, we'll win together. Jake chuckled softly, a sense of warmth rising in the midst of uncertainty. That's the spirit. But as he looked down at his phone again, dread prickled at the edges of his mind. What if Emily's mother turned out to be the storm they feared? What if meeting her pulled them apart instead of bringing them closer together? Could they truly navigate this together, or was the bond they were trying to forge just another fragile illusion? As the sounds of children laughing echoed from the community center, A storm of emotions swirled within Jake. The path ahead was fogged, and he realized he had to be the one to lead them into the light. But could he? He felt the tension tightening once again. Tomorrow, they would decide what to do, but what if the answer lay deeper than they were prepared to face? In that moment, amidst their hopeful plans, Jake knew they were standing on the edge of something monumental. What awaited them beyond that door? Jake woke up to the soft sound of rustling leaves outside. The sun painted the room in a warm, golden hue, but inside, his chest felt heavy, laden with the anxiety of what lay ahead. Today was the day they would decide whether to confront Emily's mother. Part of him wanted to put it all behind them, to shield Emily from the potential fallout. But another part of him knew that avoiding the past could only lead to deeper wounds. As he glanced at Emily still sleeping, her face serene against the pillows, he couldn't help but smile. She looked peaceful, despite the storm that loomed. He quietly slipped out of bed and went to the kitchen, where he brewed some coffee, leaning his weight against the counter while the aroma filled the space. He couldn't help but replay last night's conversation in his head, the determined glint in Lily's eyes, the way Emily forced herself to smile despite her fear. After what felt like an eternity, he heard the light patter of feet, followed by a gentle knock on the kitchen doorframe. It was Lily, her hair wild and eyes bright. "Can I help with breakfast?" "Sure," Jake replied, his spirit buoyed by her eagerness. They made pancakes together, laughter erupting as flour dusted their hands and faces. Each moment felt like a small victory against the heaviness that had threatened to pull them down. Just as they finished stacking the pancakes, Emily wandered into the kitchen, her hair tousled, eyes still sleepy, but with a hint of that familiar spark. "Smells amazing," she said, her sincerity washing over them like a balm. They gathered around the small kitchen table, the trio of them sharing stories and laughter, and for a moment, it felt like nothing could touch their little universe. Each bite of warm pancakes and syrup brought Jake fleeting joy, but the underlying reality loomed larger than breakfast. After they cleaned up, the atmosphere shifted. Lily sensed the tension, her little voice breaking through the silence. "Are we going to see Grandma today?" Jake exchanged a glance with Emily. "You know, sweetie," he said, kneeling down to her eye level. "Today we're going to talk about something important. It's a bit scary, but you can be brave with us." "I'm always brave," Lily declared, puffing out her small chest. Emily placed her hand on Lily's shoulder, pride shining in her eyes. "Yes, you are. And we're a team, remember? We'll face anything together." Jake felt a surge of gratitude to both of them. The weight of the world strangely lighter when shared. "So, what do you say we talk about how we'll handle it?" They settled in the living room, Jake's heart racing as the conversation turned serious. He felt as if he was standing on a cliff, ready to leap into the unknown. "We can make a plan. We can do this on our terms." "What if she says things that make you upset, Mom?" Lily asked, her innocence presenting a challenge. Emily took a deep breath. "Then I'll remember that I'm stronger now. I have you two to lean on." "Exactly," Jake chimed in. "And no matter what happens, you both matter a lot more than anything she might say." The moment felt significant. They were forging their path together, each word a stitch sewing their bond a little tighter. As they crafted their response, Jake felt hope unfurling amidst the unease. But just as they concluded their discussion, Jake's phone buzzed on the table, the screen lighting up with an incoming message that shot a chill down his spine. He hesitated, caught off guard, knowing they weren't ready for whatever lay on the other end. "Jake, what is it?" Emily asked, her voice trembling with curiosity mixed with dread. He stared at the screen, wrestling with the decision of whether to reveal it. Could they handle another truth today? With the weight of his heart racing against a ticking clock, he turned his gaze to Emily, who was waiting, wide-eyed. "Maybe we should prepare for what is coming." This could change everything. The gravity of his words hung in the air, and he realized they were standing just at the threshold of a moment that would define their future. Did they really have the resilience to face whatever lurked on the other side of that device? And was there more to her mother's return than they could ever have anticipated? Jake's heart raced as he looked at the screen, the message burning a hole in his thoughts. He cleared his throat, seeing Emily's worried expression and Lily's innocence catching the gravity of the moment. "It's from Emily's mom. She wants to meet us today," he blurted out, almost against his will. "What does she say?" Emily asked, her voice barely above a whisper, a mix of fear and curiosity swirling in her eyes. Just that she's in town and would like to meet at the park around 3, he replied, clenching his fists against the rising tide of uncertainty. Emily looked away, biting her lip, every second weighing heavier. A tight knot formed in his stomach. He could see the conflict play out on her face. We could still say no or ignore it, he suggested, trying to offer a lifeline. Lily, standing next to her mother, looked up. But what if Grandma has something important to tell? Her eyes sparkled with a child's hope and a hint of worry. Jake felt torn, his emotions swirling. What did they truly want? The thought of leaving things unresolved haunted him. The memory of how fractured Emily's relationship with her mother had become nudged at him. Maybe it is important. But we need to be ready, really ready. Emily nodded slowly, processing the weight of the decision. I know she hurt me, but I can't ignore it anymore. Her voice trembled, but there was a quiet resolve that Jake admired. Then let us prepare, he said firmly. We can talk about everything we want to say. And, Lily, we'll keep you in the loop. If anything feels off, we'll leave, okay? The little girl's eyes filled with determination. Okay, I'll be brave. Jake smiled at her, a sense of comfort dawning despite the chaos surrounding them. This meeting was a test, one of courage, strength, and family. As the clock ticked away, he realized they had mere hours to prepare for something that could turn their world upside down. They settled back in the living room, mapping out possible scenarios. Jake led the conversation, guiding them through how they might approach her mother. What if she apologizes? What if she doesn't? Emily took a moment, collecting her thoughts. If she does apologize, I need to be honest. Being honest is my priority. I have to express how much her absence hurt, but also how I'm willing to move forward. For us, Jake admired Emily's bravery. And if she doesn't, then I have to stand firm, she replied, her eyes firm and bright. We're a family now. I won't let her take that away. Time slipped away with every word, until the impending hour grew closer. Jake felt the anxiety creep back, the weight of every unspoken truth pressing down on him. You know, it's okay to feel scared, he reminded them, finding his own sense of comfort amid the uncertainty. Whatever happens, we do this together. They finished their preparations, and as they stepped outside, the sun was a brilliant orb high in the sky. The park wasn't far. It was familiar, a place where laughter once rang clear. Today, though, it carried a heavy silence. They approached cautiously, the air thick with anticipation. As they neared the familiar gazebo that would serve as their meeting place, a woman stood in the distance, her back turned to them, uncertainty swarming in the space between breaths. Jake's heart sank as he recognized her silhouette. Is that Emily? Began, her voice trailing off. Yeah, that's her, Jake said, his gut churning with emotion. The moment had arrived, shifting the world beneath their feet. But just as they prepared to step forward, Emily hesitated, a whirlwind of emotions washing over her. Jake, what do I say if she breaks my heart again? She looked at him, vulnerability seeping into her words. He took a breath, steadying himself. You remind her how strong you are now and what really matters to you. With Lily's hand in one and Emily's in the other, they took another step closer, but in the depths of Jake's heart, he feared the storm brewing ahead. Would this meeting heal or unravel them even more? And as they drew nearer, he couldn't shake the question hanging over all of them. Could they truly survive what was about to unfold? Emily stood frozen, uncertainty pinching at her chest. The woman ahead shifted slightly, her silhouette becoming clearer under the afternoon light. A sunbeam caught her hair, highlighting the familiar curls that Emily had once longed to touch. It felt surreal. Time seemed to stretch and contract all at once as they absorbed every detail, every breath. Do you think she even cares? Emily whispered, her voice trembling. Jake squeezed her hand reassuringly. Whatever happens, you have us. Remember that. With a deep breath, Emily nodded. You're right. But there was a flicker of doubt in her eyes. Lily, ever the brave one, tugged at Emily's arm. Let us go, Mommy. We can do this. Her enthusiasm shone bright, a beacon of innocence and hope. Jake loved that about her. Lily had a unique way of cutting through heavy moments like this one. Okay, here we go, he said, trying to sound braver than he felt. They stepped into the brief afternoon sunburst, casting shadows that danced on the ground. Emily took the lead, each step becoming a mixture of determination and fear, as though she were walking into a storm. Jake followed closely, ready to shield them both. "Mom," Emily finally called out, her voice shaky. The woman turned slowly, and as her face came into view, Jake felt a jolt. This was the woman who once was the sun in Emily's sky, but had walked away, leaving darkness in her wake. "Emily?" Her voice was softer than he expected, a tremor threaded through it. The moment hung heavy, electric with the weight of unspoken words, all they shared and everything lost. Emily blinked back tears, searching her mother's face for signs of sincerity, of regret. "You wanted to see me?" "I didn't want to ruin everything," the woman replied, her voice thick with emotion, the corner of her mouth twitching into a tentative smile. "But I miss you." The confession settled in the air, and Jake could feel Emily's breath hitch. He held his breath, waiting for Emily to respond. Would she reach out, or pull back? "Miss you?" Emily echoed, stepping forward, her hands clenching into fists. "You left without a word, Mom. And for so long, I thought you didn't care." Jake saw the turmoil twisting through Emily's expression. This was a moment of raw honesty. It could either fracture their fragile foundation or build something new. "I'm sorry," her mother said, looking stricken. "I was lost." The confession was fragile, like spun glass. "But I want to change that if you'll let me." Lily stepped closer, her small voice piped up with utmost sincerity. "It's okay, Grandma. We can be a family again." Emily's heart shattered and repaired all at once. She glanced at Lily, whose innocent optimism stood in stark contrast to the shadows of the past. It was a powerful, grounding force. "Lily," she murmured, glancing back at her mother. Storm clouds still loomed, but a glint of hope pierced through, starting to warm the chill that gripped her thoughts. "I don't know if I'm ready to open that door yet." "Then we'll take our time." Her mother's tone was gentle, yet firm and understanding that had been sorely missed as they all stood there, the air thickening with unspoken thoughts. Jake realized they were standing at a crossroads. Would they step toward healing or retreat back to their separate lives? And as the weight of the moment loomed over them, a loud crash echoed through the park, a fallen branch from the nearby trees. It jolted them all, an unexpected reminder of how fragile each moment could be. "Mom, is the branch falling an omen?" Lily asked innocently, breaking the tension, her wide eyes sparkling with curiosity. Emily couldn't help but chuckle. "Maybe it means we need to let the past fall away," she said, the weight in her heart lightening just a bit. Jake felt a wave of relief wash over him. Maybe this was a light in the darkness after all, but would they let it grow, or let it flicker out as a memory? As that question lingered in the air between them, Jake's heart raced again, not with fear, but with the budding possibility for what lay ahead. Could they truly navigate this new beginning together? Emily held her breath, the gentle breeze ruffling her hair as the moment stretched. Everything felt surreal. She didn't want to believe that perhaps, just perhaps, her mother meant every word. The weight of her mother's past washed over her like storm clouds threatening rain. "Can we talk?" Emily finally asked, her voice steady though her heart raced. "Just us?" Her mother hesitated, then nodded, an emotional current passing between them. "Give them some space, all right, Lily?" Jake said, his voice soft but protective. He knelt down next to their daughter, eyes holding the young girl's wonder. "We're right over here if you need us." Lily bounced on her little feet, still hopeful. "Can I get ice cream?" she asked, her innocence shining through. "Sure, kiddo." Jake smiled, tousling her hair. "But let Mom have a moment with her. You know how important this is." As they moved to a nearby bench, Emily felt the space between her and her mother shrink. The air grew thick with possibilities, but also with fears. "Why now?" she asked, locking eyes with the woman she longed to trust. "I've been trying to find the right time to reach out," her mother admitted, anguish lining her features. "I know it sounds weak. I thought I could fix things on my own first, but it's too late for that. Life doesn't wait." "Yeah, it doesn't," Emily replied, grappling with anger and understanding in equal measure. "You had your chance to stay." The words hung in the air, unforgiving yet true. "I didn't realize what I had until it was gone. You don't know how many times I've thought about you, how I carried regret with me every single day." Her mother's voice broke as tears pooled in her eyes. "I can't change the past, but I want to be part of your life again, if you let me. The sincerity in those words struck like lightning. Emily's heart twisted, torn between the love she had once felt and the hurt that still festered like an untreated wound. All those years I missed, her thoughts swirled, overwhelming. It should have been you cheering me on, not him. But look at what you've accomplished, her mother said, a mix of pride and remorse shimmering on her features. You're an amazing mother, Emily. I should have been there for you, truly there. Emily felt the rush of emotions, her heart trying to embrace the moment while protectiveness clawed at her. The idea of acceptance felt so far away, almost like a distant star. Do you think I want to forgive you? Emily struggled against the rising tide of empathy, trying to pull her under. Do you know how hard it is for me to even imagine that? I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I hope for it, her mother replied, desperation edging her words. I want to make things right, even if it takes time. Just then, laughter broke through the tension as Lily South's excitement filled the park. Jake was lifting her off the ground, spinning her in the air, and for a moment, lightness permeated the heavy moment. In so many ways, she's the best of both of us, you know? Emily said, watching her daughter's joy. It reminded her of how precious family moments could be. Can I get to know her? Can you allow me that chance? Her mother said, desperation woven into her plea. Taking a shaky breath, Emily weighed her options. She was at a crossroads, and this decision could set the course of their shared future. Maybe it could work, she murmured, barely able to voice the hope trembling beneath her doubt. As her mother reached for her hand, Emily experienced a strange blend of anxiety and hope. Was she really ready to step into the unknown, to open her heart to what could be a brand new beginning? Would she allow the past to have a voice in her future? In that moment, an unexpected crash echoed softly from behind them, blending with the surrounding chatter as a small group of children played nearby. The branch that fell before suddenly felt much further away. Mom, what do you think will happen next? Lily chimed in, her wide eyes glistening with anticipation. Emily turned to her daughter, her heart heavy with anticipation, uncertainty simmering just below the surface. She hoped for answers, but none came. What would be the next step in this unpredictable journey they were trying to navigate together? Emily felt as though time had frozen. The vibrant laughter from Lily and Jake faded as she focused on her mother's tentative hand reaching out. The slight tremor in her mother's fingers mingled with Emily's own homemade fears. Everything seemed magnified, the stakes higher than ever. Can I trust you? Emily asked, her voice almost a whisper. The words were heavy, anchored with the pain of yesterday's loss. I'm here now, her mother replied, sincerity etched in every line of her face. I want to show you that I mean it. Just give me a chance. The moment hung between them, heavy with indecision. Emily glanced back at Jake and Lily, a golden sunbeam catching Lily's hair as she twirled in delight. There was a part of her that wanted to leap away from the pain and uncertainty, to take her daughter and flee. Yet, another part, a hopeful flicker, was trying to ignite. Okay, Emily finally exhaled, the words slipping past her lips like a secret. But we take this slow. I can't rush into anything. Slow is good, her mother nodded, relief shimmering in her eyes. I'm grateful for any chance, but I promise to respect your pace. With each passing heartbeat, the air grew warmer. Emily's fingers finally intertwined with her mother's. It felt strange, intimate. Yet, a door she had closed long ago creaked open just a fraction. As they shared a tentative smile, Lily bounded towards them, ice cream in one hand, the other stretching out to her mom. Look, Mom, I got the biggest scoop. Can I share? Of course, sweetie, Emily replied, feeling warmth suffuse her heart. She watched as her daughter beamed with joy, innocence radiating around her like sunlight, inviting her mother into their world. Maybe you could teach me how to make ice cream, too? Lily said, glimmering with enthusiasm. Then we could have a big ice cream party. I would love to help you with that. Her mother chimed in, her tone light, infused with joy. Emily's heart broke ever so slightly. This was the connection she had yearned for, this opportunity for Lily to create memories with her grandmother, even if the road to healing was still rocky. As Jake approached, a proud smile spread across his face. What is the plan, ladies? We're having an ice cream party, Lily exclaimed, her excitement infectious. Well, I want in on that. Jake grinned, and Emily noticed how easily joy blended into their family. Could it really work? She mused. As the four of them settled on the bench, her mother beside her, Lily nestled in her father's lap, the laughter spun around like a soft breeze. Emily felt hope tightening her chest, but shadows of doubt lingered. Now let us talk flavors. Is chocolate a go? Jake was teasing, making Lily giggle uncontrollably. I want bubblegum, she shouted between giggles. Emily's eyes drifted to her mother, who was watching Lily, admiration glowing in her expression. You have a beautiful family, her mother said softly, emotion stirring the air once more. Emily noticed the truth in those words. It was beautiful, it was hopeful, but uncertainty still wrapped around her heart. With all the laughter fluttering around, Emily felt a single tear slip down her cheek, not of sorrow but perhaps of renewal. It was scary to open this door, but maybe it was time to see what lay beyond. What happens if I let you in? She whispered, half to herself, half to her mother. The smile faded from her mother's face as she searched Emily's eyes, the weight of that question hanging in the air. I only hope to fill the gaps, Emily. I want to make amends, however hard that might be. But it's up to you. The world around them buzzed with the sound of children playing, but inside, Emily felt like she was standing at the edge of a cliff, ready to leap into the unknown. And in that moment, something shifted within her. Maybe it was time to face the past so the future could finally unfold. As they began to discuss flavors, a sudden chorus of laughter erupted from a nearby group of children, pulling her attention. But deep down, a whisper echoed, what will the scars of the past bring with this new beginning? The sun was setting, casting a warm golden glow over the park, wrapping the moment in tender light. Emily sat with her mother, Jake, and little Lily, sharing laughs and stories, but beneath the laughter lay a tapestry of unspoken fears and hopes. Today would change everything. Today wasn't just about ice cream. We're in this together, she whispered to herself like a mantra, feeling empowered by her own resolve. The laughter from the kids playing nearby bounced off her heart, reminding her to breathe. They had scarce moments of happiness to savor, and she was determined to make this one count. Okay, how about this? Jake jumped in, his playful spirit infectious. What if we have an ice cream off? Each of us creates the craziest flavor we can think of, and Lily gets to judge. His grin was brighter than the sun, lightening the heaviness in the air. Yay, I can't wait to try everything. Lily cheered, clapping her hands in delight. The innocence of her excitement washed over them, and Emily felt bittersweet warmth fill her soul. Lilies were blooming from the cracks of their past. Here they were a family, however unconventional, tied together in this moment. All right, I'll make a cherry chocolate explosion, Emily declared, her confidence blossoming. She glanced at her mother, noting the hopeful glint in her eye. Could this be the beginning of something beautiful rather than a painful reliving of the past? I'll whip up a mint chocolate unicorn surprise, her mother answered, her voice steady despite the tremor of uncertainty. Emily's heart fluttered. And I'll create rainbow sprinkles delight. Lily giggled, clapping her hands. With the sounds of playful banter ringing in the air, Emily felt her fears gradually retreat. They gathered their strength, each person contributing an idea, melding their unique experiences into a shared future. It felt surreal, like a tapestry being woven right before her eyes. The girls sneaked away to gather supplies. Jake stayed back with Emily, who could see the tension still lurking in the creases of his brow. You good? He asked gently, his voice a protective shield against the uncertainties. I think I am, Emily admitted, but doubt still lingered. What if this goes awry? What if she hurts me again? I want to trust her, but... Jake's hand found hers, wrapping around it firmly. That's okay. Just take it one moment at a time. Focus on the here and now and what you've already built. No matter what happens, you and Lily are my family. His heart poured through his eyes, filling the space between them with assurance. Together, they watched as Lily and her grandmother gathered ingredients for their ice cream creation. A laugh burst forth from Lily, pure and innocent, echoing against the twilight. Each giggle was a beautiful reminder of what mattered most, their bond as a family. And whatever happens after today, we face that together, too. Emily smiled through her lingering fear. I know, she murmured, and they watched as Lily sprinkled vibrant colors into her mix, carefree and excited. A feeling bloomed in Emily's heart, a seed of hope, a promise of new beginnings. Suddenly, a chirp cut through the moment, bringing them back from their thoughts. Emily's mother approached, cautiously at first, but now with conviction in her step. "Can I help with something?" she asked, glancing at the laughter bouncing around them. Emily met her gaze, emotions swirling. "Actually, can you help me with the cherry chocolate explosion?" As they worked side by side, mixing ingredients and exchanging stories, Emily glanced at Jake and Lily, reflection and pride swelling inside her. Perhaps this was the start of something beautiful. With every scoop of ice cream and every shared laugh, they were constructing a bridge, one fragile moment at a time. No matter what storms lay ahead, they were committed to building their little family anew, brick by brick. And maybe, just maybe, the flavors of their past could combine to create something deliciously hopeful together. By the time they finished, sunset painted the sky in shades of pink and orange, reflecting the warmth gathering in Emily's heart. She felt the burdens lift, if only a little. "Let us gather everyone for tasting." She beamed, hosting a burst of renewed courage. As night fell, surrounded by warmth, laughter, and flavors that sang a melody of rebirth, Emily closed her eyes for a brief moment, imagining a future colored by possibilities instead of shadows. They were a family, a trio forged in love and resilience, ready to face whatever came next. This was just the beginning. The horizon lay wide open before them, and with a leap of faith binding them, they would navigate this beautiful chaos together. Now, dear friends, it's time for you to jump in. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help more people discover the warmth of transformation. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this. Ending your words matter. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. You need to show your support right now. Don't wait, not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of building this community together.